Hi, I'm Wendy Welsh from Wendy's Quilts and More, and I'm here to talk about how to hand piece an 8-pointed star like this one. In my first video, Hand Piecing 101, I showed you the supplies you need to hand piece and gave a demonstration of how I hand piece. In my second video, Hand Piecing 102, I talked about how to make your own hand piecing templates with template plastic. So now I'm going to explain how I get the centres tight in my 8-pointed stars and how to press your blocks when they're finished. So, 8-pointed stars. The way we approach these is that we sew these 4 together and then the other 4 together and then sew a line through the middle. And it's the line through the middle that most people have trouble with. So I'll give you a demonstration. So first I start by going down and up. We always try to get as long a seam as possible without stopping and starting our thread. So I've started here at this point and sewn right into the corner, being sure to get the corner there and the corner on the back, and got those two together. Then I put my needle through to the back and moved it round to attach a new piece, and I've come up right here in the corner, catching both points really tightly, and you can take a little look inside to be sure you've just got these two pieces and not catching this one, but that it's tight into the corner, and I've stitched out to here. So people have asked me how long a tail I leave when I cut the thread at the end. What's that, is an inch maybe, almost an inch, about that length of thread. I don't want to cut so tight that it could unravel. So when I've got two pieces like that, I need to sew on a third to make my half of a star. So here's my third. I could add it to that side or that side. I think I'll go this side today. So I'll just give a quick demonstration again. I'll put in a pin at the end, going through the corner on the top and the corner on the back. I'll move that to make sure I've got the corner on the back. Now when I want to start, it's a bit congested down in this corner, so I will just use my fingers to push away those seams and be able to see this. So I'll go down in here and down on the back, up for my first, but leaving a tail, again about the same length as when I cut off. I'm just using blue thread so you can see this clearly. I'll do my tailor's knot again, out that way and out that way, one each way from the top and the bottom. Pull through, and that's my knot, and then a couple of stitches checking. That first one's a little bit bigger than I might normally do, but I'm just trying to do this quickly for you. And onto the end. I didn't explicitly say in the first video that you don't, the beauty of hand piecing is you don't stitch out to the end of the line like we would on a sewing machine. That's why we've got these lines drawn. We stop at the point, and that comes in handy when we do the pressing later. Tailor's knot to finish, and cut that off. And there you go. Now we've got the 4 pieces and they're looking nice in the center there. So I've got 2 that I've made earlier, and what we do is pin them together. So I start at this end because I'm right-handed. I'll pin the very end that I'm going to, again getting the 2 points pinned accurately. I then sort of walk my left hand fingers in so those pieces are nice and flat, and I pin fairly close to the center again getting the two lines lined up. So now I'm going to start stitching from the right hand end. Again, I'll just pull these seams back with my fingers and put a pin here. Right, so this thread was about the 16 inches I recommended. It's still long enough to sew across here easily. So again, when your star, the 8 points of your star are all the same colour, you'd use matching thread to do this. I'd normally use the orange to match, but I'm just using blue to show you how it's done. So that one out there, and I grab with those two fingers and the thread from the bottom of the needle out the other side, and then I'll pull through. And there, I've got a knot. Okay, so I'll just zoom down till we get to the center. I again push these seams back, that one back and that one back, and hold them with those two fingers. Okay, so I'll go straight down here in this corner and be sure to get this corner as well on the back, the point rather. Again, my stitches aren't perfect on the back because I'm doing this in a bit of a hurry. And then I'll take the back stitch, or a knot if you prefer, and I'll go down again. So that's made that quite secure up to the point. What I'm going to do now is, having come along here, I'm going to go right around and through all of those points to tie them in tightly. So I've already been down the first one, my thread is on the back. I'm now just going to refold it, get this one out of the way on the back, and go through this, the top of this next point. And then the next one. So each time I'm pinching the seam I want to go through. If you're in doubt, you can always open up and have a look that you're not catching any of the other seams. Through this one. Right, so I'm halfway around now because I've met the pin for the remaining half. I'm here. I'll still go through this one even though it's not sewn up to that line yet. I want to go the whole way around. So through there. I could take out that pin now, it's getting a bit in my way. Through the next one, through the next one, one more, and I'm back to where I started because there's the pin at the end and I'm here now. So when you open this up already, you can see that's already looking quite good, even though I've got navy thread, not orange. It's quite tight in there because you've been through the tips of all the points. But now your thread's back at the beginning side and you really want to be over here. So I pull this back a little bit and I take the thread right up and out. And then I go down on the back of the piece I'm yet to stitch together, again in the point. looking at that point there. Now, this is where I give it a little pull, just gentle. You don't want to break your thread, but a little tug to be sure that that loop you've done around is tight. So now I'm back to this point and I just need to sew out to the end. I'll start by right in that corner, going down and coming out at the very corner of this. I'll just, there. And I'll do a back stitch here to lock in that. And up again right in the corner. And then stitch out to the end. I'll gallop along here. Don't worry, I will unpick this blue thread and do it again with orange. Just a couple more. Do my knot. Sorry about all the background noises, but it's summer here in New Zealand, so we've got the windows open and I can hear trucks and buses going past. My tailor's knot at the end, pull through, snip off and have a look. Pretty good. You would not even know that this is the navy one going through here. Okay, so that has avoided the hole in the center that some people get when they do an 8, 10, 12 pointed star. This technique can be used on any number of points all meeting together at a point. So as they say on all the cooking shows, here's one that I made earlier with orange thread, and when it's fully pressed and finished, it'll be fine. So that brings me on to the pressing. The beauty of stopping at the point when we stitch for hand piecing is we can twirl the seams and have this lovely flat finish on the back. All of these seams are going in the clockwise direction, and on the front, great meeting there at the corner. So I've pressed to the dark side, to the dark side. Then when I sewed across here, it was looking like this. But when I lay it flat, I can open it up and see that. And that's the same as what we're going to do with the 8 pointed stars. I don't normally press when I get to this stage. I finish the whole block. Some people finish the whole quilt and they don't even be fussy about the pressing. They just press from the top and let things do their own thing underneath. But many people who are machine stitching want to see it flat, and I'm afraid I want to see it flat too. So when I would sew on my outside pieces, first going one line all the way around with the grey neutral coloured thread, so the orange thread in the centre and the grey around the outside because I'm attaching white. So I see it like this. What we're going to do is press all these centre seams clockwise and all the next round of seams anti-clockwise. Here's one where I've done that. You'll see all of these, the star points or seams are all going that way, and the outside seams are all going that way. Now it's not quite the same as the little square that I did, but it's the same principle, that the seams open up as you get to these points. So once you've got to this, the question is, what about that in the middle, the big chunky bit? If you've pressed all of these, this, I just put my finger in here and I sort of wiggle until it lays down, and I check these are still all going around, and I look at that and I think fine, and then I would put the iron on that and it's pressed down, and that's what this one is. So you can see that that all sits very nicely and it's flat from the top. So I hope that helps you with 8 or 10 or 12 pointed stars. This one I see now may not be perfect, but in a whole quilt no one's really going to notice that, and you're going to quilt over it anyway. Yet this one here's looking really good and I'm happy with that. I hope you find the technique useful, and just let me know if you've got any questions. Thanks, bye.